During that trip down to Virginia, it's about an 8 hour drive, I believe, from where I live down to Virginia Beach. I was listening to Fish Radio there and back, and it just clicked. To be today, it's been rescheduled. Um, Thing about Fish compared to the other jam bands that I've heard, other jam bands I've seen in person, the majority of this show, the jams kept me engaged. And again, I can't say that about other jam bands. It's hard. You only can reinvent the wheel so many times. You only can play the Mixolydian scale on an electric guitar so many different ways. And here's what I've noticed so far. I love the transitions that Fish has in songs. One of my favorite things about progressive rock is the transitions. I love how Fish is able to seamlessly transition back and forth, up and down, left and right, into various styles of music in the same song. Yes, that's what a jam band does. Yes, of course. But Fish does it to a level that I just haven't seen done and executed so well. And there's certain things that were better than others in this, and it's a lot to take in. It's overwhelming to dive into a band like this, even though I've dived into the Grateful Dead's music, about 6 years, 5-6 years ago. I've dived into the Allman Brothers, but this is very, very overwhelming. I will say the Moment Dance, that's again one of those songs I've been playing. I was like, okay, I know. It's about to go down, folks. My first Fish show tonight. Let's go. It's your boy Conserviz 34. Shout out everyone going to MSG tonight. It's gonna be lit. Play Divided Sky, please. And Punch You in the Eye. And Mike's on. And we could pop groove. What up, what up? It's your boy Conserviz 34. Very exciting day for me. My first Fish show is tonight. Tonight at the world's most famous arena. The world's most famous arena. And this is really a year in the making. Around this time last year, what happened? What clicked? What made you try to dive into the music of Fish? I went on a road trip right after I got my shot, Johnson & Johnson vaccination shot. And I drove down to Virginia Beach, did the same thing this year. 8.5, 9 hours or so after breaks. And what did I do? I started listening to Fish, and there was something at that time last year, the way I listened to music, the music I was playing on my acoustic and electric guitars, something changed. And I finally understood Fish. I had tried, right? I've had set up to Sirius XM radio. Shout out to Ari Flink. I had tried listening to Fish radio in the past. I would listen here and there, cool, whatever. It wasn't getting to me like the Grateful Dead got to me. It was not getting to me like the poster behind me over there, the Allman Brothers, when I went to the final Beacon run. And that stuff was just, it was easier to connect to. Phish took time. If you are a veteran Phish fan, you're asking, hey, Concert for 34, how did you, what was it? Was it like, did someone suggest it to you? Absolutely not. I had all sorts of friends that were Phish fans, but I just wasn't into, I just wasn't into that, I tried and I respected the band. I respected the way that they challenged themselves every night, but it was not clicking until it finally did. And part of this is I had to mature musically into jam bands, and it took a decade really of listening to jam bands uh, to before I could really understand the music. And I think that's important to state that you don't necessarily, it's not going to take you a day to love their music. It may take you going to a show like I'm going to tonight. It may take something else in your life to become a Phish fan, but I really was not ready. And I've been listening to music my entire life, right? Grew up playing music in the church, grew up in honor symphonic bands, playing clarinet, learning a little bit of piano, learning electric guitar, listening to all the classic R&B. My pops has. I have some of his collection over here, from Stevie Wonder, Earth, Wind and Fire, Parliament, Funkadelic, just everything, right? Listening to a lot of rock and rap growing up, but something clicked, and once it clicked, I knew I had to get to a show, and I wanted to go to this original New Year's Eve run. I was going to go to the January 1st show, and then they, obviously COVID pushed it back like LeBron James hairline. And now we're here tonight, Saturday, April 23rd, 2022. And now I'm going to my first show. Let me take you guys along to some happy parts of my journey. Another thing that made me appreciate Phish was the fact that I started playing some of their music. I am nowhere near a guitar master at all. I consider myself an intermediate guitar player. I'm actually playing tomorrow morning. After this Phish show, I'll be going and playing tomorrow morning at my church, as I always do. But let's take you through some of the moments here of my guitar playing with Phish. So here I am, intro of MoMA Dance, just having a ball. I am having a ball playing this. I had been stuck in a guitar rut for the last 6 to 8 months. This intro, learning it during my lunch break, gave me so much joy. Is it down to a T of what Trey's playing? Absolutely not. But I'm just having a ball playing this simple, 3 fingers down triad on my fretboard. And it's just, when I play this, it brings a whole new joy to the song. This song already was something I've been listening to for a couple of months and enjoying. But playing this, there's that chord transition, right? Playing this is awesome. It is just simply awesome to play this. I just wanted to dance all across my living room. It's just so much fun. And I'm trying to be aware of what the backing track is playing as well. I have wanted to play this part for so long after listening to this song for a couple of months, and it is so rewarding to be able to play this. I love the bend that's coming up right there. There you go. I love that bend of the guitar string and how it feels to play that. And this is such a catchy little riff, and I could play it all night long. No Lionel Richie. So that's some of the stuff. Hey, Ron from Colorado just got some. Oh, yeah, I think you said you were driving 2 hours to get some nice gear from Guitar Center. Hey, enjoy it, brother. Enjoy it, and hope you enjoy. I know you're doing a lot of funky, crazy, epic stuff with your pedal board, but now you got some soundboard speakers, so we look forward to seeing your content on Twitter. That's some of the stuff with MoMA Dance. Just playing it made it fun. And then let's take a look at Divided Sky. I was really practicing this out, and this gave me so much joy. Let's take a look. Yes, I got it. So yeah, that was some tricky stuff, and The whole song is a very, very impressive song on Trey's end of things. And the last thing that we want to show you, I love how this band the intricacies of their solos and jams and how they respond off each other. One of the things I was seeing in my other musical life, the different other jam bands I was listening to, the other non-jam bands I was listening to, and any music in general, I was listening more to how artists react off each other, how they take up space, how they don't take up space in music. And the Phish is a great example of a band that really knows what they're doing with the space and with the time they have here. So let's take a look at this. Is from episode 2 of Phish Noob, some observations. A team. So I'm a hockey player, and this Phish reminds me of when I played hockey growing up. There were certain lines. Like I remember P. Stanley and Syracuse. If you played in high school with me, you'll get it. They always knew where the other guy was. They were 3 offensive players: left wing, center, right wing. They were our best line. We were number 1 in the state in Connecticut back in 2008, 2007, 2008. And this line is like Phish. They knew where everyone was. One guy would have the puck, the other guy was driving the net, the other guy would stay high as a second option. And Phish is just like that P. Stanley Syracuse line that I had in high school. They knew exactly where they were. They're popping in, popping out. This is all freestyle, right? They're feeling the environment in Mexico and they're reacting to it live. And that's how P. Stanley and Syracuse, if they've tried to press you hard with a forecheck, they would, play one way. If they were falling back on defense, they would take it to them, pass it to the person high up and shoot it. Someone gets the rebound. Phish is so amazing how this live performance is so just, they're doing this on the fly. And it reminds me again of playing hockey and the best line of my high school team. One of the top teams in the state. Again, we were number 1 in the state for part of the year. We lost in the first round, but that's not the point. The point is, Phish is just like a top hockey line. I think about like the Boston Bruins, their first line, the Legion of Boom, the Philadelphia Flyers. I am a Flyers fan, and that line was when I became a Flyers fan after the Whalers. So you can check more of that out on, again, Phish Noob episode 2, Left Divided Sky, YouTube Conservist 34. But I just love how they play off each other, how they respect each other's space, how they're listening for what other people are doing. Everyone gets their shine. One of the issues I think with a lot of artists I see live is there's too much electric guitar, or there's too much piano, or there's too much of one instrument. You don't get to appreciate the brilliance of the other instruments. Not from what I've heard from the recordings of Phish. I look forward to trying to really tone and hone in on that today. I've heard the live show was unlike any experience, even the live tapes that you listen to. It's just being there is that. And also just shout out a couple bands that really were jam bands that got me into this space. First and foremost, Humphreys McGee. That was a band my friend got me to in college about 12, 13 years ago. They are a band that I've seen very frequently in the last couple of years, even during the pandemic, right? Last year, we had a show here in, I believe it was like, March, April, or May, I can't remember anymore. And then String Cheese Incident, another band that I saw, they decided to have some Connecticut shows. They had a Connecticut show here, and then they had a King's Theater Brooklyn show. And they're just another band that I've seen a couple of times that, again, got me into this world of jam bands, and really you don't know what you're going to get. Obviously, the Grateful Dead, I've seen Phil Lesh and Friends, Dead in Company. Allman Brothers Band behind me. They're a little bit different, right? But just the way that they play, I was at their last Beacon run. That's where I got the poster behind me from. Those were acts that led me to Phish, because I started to get an appreciation for more than just the lyrics, and get appreciation for all the musical specialties that were going on. And also, most importantly, the cross blending of genres. You're not getting a rock show the entire time, right? You're going to get some other stuff. Justin says, "Hey, do you play with any groups?" Not right now. I used to do some. I used to do some spoken word poetry with guitar jams in the middle of the spoken word poetry, but I don't really do that as much anymore. I may get back into that at some point, but just kind of too busy to have time to play with a group at this time in my life. So that's where I'm at. Oh, let's talk about this. So real quick, this is Phish Bittersweet Motel. Shout out to my man who mailed this to me, who loves a couple of the other bands I like John Mayer, the Grateful Dead, and Dave Matthews Band. But my man mailed this out to me because he knew that I was getting into Phish, and I actually saw this a couple days ago. And this was a great watch, especially before this run that I'm going on here. It was nice to see the episode. I mean, not the episode, the documentary that Phish did. Thomas Rizzo, shout out to Thomas Rizzo, who sent that out to me, and hope you're well up there in upstate New York. So, a couple of thoughts from Bittersweet Motel. I love how Trey has a self awareness about himself, about where he's from, and about the band. Um, I really try to pride myself on being self-aware and trying to get feedback to continue to be self-aware. And Trey, he was very aware, even to have this band that he's a part of. Fish, he said, "Look, I can't be Jerry Garcia. I can't be Jimi Hendrix. I didn't grow up in the era they grew up listening to the blues and R&B in the early stages of rock that influenced those artists, right?" He says, "Look, I'm just a white kid from suburban Jersey. I cannot be Jimi Hendrix. I can't be Jerry Garcia." And I love that because while he is an icon of his own, he didn't try to live in the shadow or chase down any of those artists. He took his influences. I know from Fish Radio, there's some other influences, lesser popular guitar players that he learned from, but he essentially learned from his environment, took his environment with him, and then decided, obviously with Fish, he's amazing. So I think it's great. That was one of the things that stood out to me about that documentary, his self awareness there. Tom Marshall, I didn't know. Ironically, I didn't know, even though I've been listening to the band for a while, I didn't know Tom Marshall was a writer, almost like Robert Hunter or Bernie Taupin. As far as Robert Hunter, Grateful Dead, Bernie Taupin with Elton John, like he's just kind of helps Trey and the band write some of the stuff. I thought that was really cool that he helps with the writing. And another funny moment was in Europe. I thought this was hilarious. They they were taking pictures. This is I think it was like 97 or that they were actually tape filming this. But the Europe tour, they were taking pictures and they had someone from their crew take the picture, and it was like they were taking pictures with the heads cut off, which is hilarious and a great way to have a little fun with the tourists and the fans that were coming from America to get photos and hunt them down and stalk them. That is pretty cool. And one of the things that Trey said in the documentary, like and essentially like rock and roll in some levels is BS, but music is real and you can feel it. I thought that was a great quote and a great just thing to take away from that some of this is charades, but which isn't a bad thing, but really music is something you truly feel. The 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 stuff that makes up rock and roll and the stuff the things that add to it entertainment factor are just kind of a front. But when you really feel that music, when it hits your soul, it will always reign supreme. It'll always be timeless if you do it right. So I thought that was really, really cool. And the New Year's Eve stuff was pretty cool to see that, this was an older Fish New Year's Eve run that was shown from the late 90s there. Fish was at the Garden here. So tonight's show, tonight, what is the Garden ties to me? Well, Madison Square Garden is a place that is special to me because I've seen so many amazing things there. You see the Yukon Husky hat I have on. I saw Yukon men's basketball uh, they played the Elite Eight at the Garden, and they actually won that game versus Michigan State. That was one of the probably the best sporting event I've been to outside of the last Whalers game. I mean, those are like kind of tied. I've seen I've also seen some other concerts there. I have a Billy Joel poster right over here in front of me from the Garden, and that was another. Just to see Billy Joel twice at MSG was awesome. I've seen a younger act, 21 Pilots, and I got to see them at a point where they were really starting to blow up during the was it the Heavy Dirty Soul tour, and I got to see a younger generation embrace the Garden. That was really the first act where most of the pretty much all the fans were younger than me. But I wanted to check it out and see what the, 21 Pilots was all about, and it did not disappoint. Um, this is one of the big events last May. My dad's a huge Knicks fan, and someone gave him tickets that a connection had, a family friend gave him tickets to this game. I'm a Sixers fan. Let's go Sixers tonight. But and I've been a fan since the Iverson days. But this environment was awesome. This was the first. This was the second. This was the second playoff game with near capacity, only a couple social distancing sections, but this place was loud. This place was wild. Let's take a look here. This was after the game. I mean, this was huge. This was the biggest indoor event in New York State post-pandemic history at the time. I know the Foo Fighters ended up doing the show that actually sold out MSG. I think it was either weeks later or days later. I can't remember. But MSG is a special place for me. So to have my first Phish show here is a special thing. What do I want? I mean, Divided Sky is the number one thing. That's one of my favorite songs so far on my journey of listening to Phish. Divided Sky, Punch You in the Eye is number two. That'd be my number two. I would love to hear that song. What else did I have on my list here of songs? Because I know there's obviously some were eliminated. Like I wanted to hear Stash. I would love to hear a Mike's song in Week Apart Groove. That's probably one of the things that we'll get. And then, yeah, those are like the main ones that are left. I'm just open to whatever happens tonight. I know some fans can be critical. Some fans they could play the songbook, and there's a lot of fans in between. But especially critical. I remember night one reading the comments online. I know. Again, there's people who are negative with this fan base, and there are people who are in the middle that'll be honest, and there'll be people that are just overly positive. But um, there was some night one people like, oh man, this is like the worst show ever. Like there was like all this panic, kind of like it reminds me of being a sports fan, and you know, especially being a Sixers Flyers fan. Some of the oh my god, we're gonna suck. Like the season's over, game one. So I'm excited to get back to a place I consider a second home, Madison Square Garden. Which again, I love this. I love the arena. I think it's one of the best. I haven't been out west to arenas. I've been to baseball stadiums out west and amphitheaters like the Gorge, but haven't been out to the Staples Center and haven't been out to some of the other like venues out there. But to me, there's nothing like MSG. The way they redid this, I even remember even before the remodel that they've done, which I think is world class. The venue is so unique that it's always loud. The fan base of whatever you're seeing there is going to be passionate, and most times it's going to sell out. There's nothing like it's the best place to watch basketball in the world, in my opinion. The best place to watch basketball in the world. Going to a Knicks playoff game, going to Knicks regular season games, taking my dad for his birthday, and then going to NCAA games, Syracuse, UConn, neutral site game, and then they lead 8 game Michigan State. Versus UConn, winner went to the Final Four, which was UConn. Like, though I've seen big events at MSG, and to me, there's nothing so far I've seen that can match it as far as an arena that gets so many different things right. Not just hockey, which I've yet to see there. One of these days I'll get out there. Not just basketball. Like, they have a dog show there, the Westminster Dog Show, right? They literally do everything right. I love the staff there. It is a great facility. Well, I got to get going. I got to get down to MSG, take the drive down. But just wanted to give you a little backstory. I will be doing a review either later tonight into the early morning or Sunday at some point to give you my thoughts and reactions. As again, the first time concert attend, first time Phish show, first Phish show, right? And if you are watching this, you're a Phish fan and like other acts, check out my channel, ConcertViz34. Twitter, ConcertViz34 is also my handle on Instagram. I go to a lot of different types of shows. Hip hop, not so much. You see I had a J. Cole shirt on here, but I used to love going to some of the hip hop stuff. I really don't like. I'm going to see the Roots this year, but that probably be my only hip hop. I mean, hip hop is probably my favorite genre, but I just, as I've gotten older, but even as a kid, I listened to everything. But as I've gotten older, it's been more rock and blues and a little bit of R&B because those acts translate better. There's very few acts. I mean, I've seen Jigga, Jay-Z, Nas, Snoop, Ludacris. Like, I've seen a lot of rap greats. I've seen a lot of rap, never heard underground. But to me, there's just nothing, like, they don't always translate well. But continue to follow my journey. I will also have more Phish new episodes as I continue through this journey of learning the music of Phish, the greatness of Phish. I hope everyone has an awesome, safe travel down to MSG, or if you're watching this, streaming it from your crib across the world, or you're listening to the audio when it gets on phish.net the next, morning. I hope everyone enjoys that. But that's your boy ConcertViz34. It is time for me to head out. Time for me to go down to see the greatness at the Garden, the last show for this little run. And again, stay well, stay safe, take care of each other, be responsible, all that stuff, all that jazz. But that's all I got for right now. I will see you guys, maybe see some of you guys down there. When we get this, okay, let's get this up. All right, have a good night. Have a good day and night. And I'll see you tomorrow morning or afternoon.